Hey guys, what's good? Triple J Boxing. So, Devin Haney, who will he fight next? How is he dealing with the Ryan Garcia aftermath still? Now, I seen clips from the Andre Ward interview. I still haven't watched the whole thing, but clips have been floating around on Instagram and social media from the interview. And I'm not liking what I'm hearing from Devin Haney. And I know a lot of people who stand up for Haney say, why are they mad at Haney and not at the guy who tested positive? Which, at face value, on paper, that makes sense. Yeah, why would they be mad at the guy that didn't test positive? And it's not, the thing is, guys, they're not really, that's not really the issue here. The issue is he is still going on about that. And it's one thing. See, my problem with Devin Haney is it's one thing to keep on going on about it and complaining uh, after the loss and after the guy tested positive for PEDs. And like I said, nothing's wrong with complaining about the PEDs that the fighter tested for PEDs. And if you look into more into the situation, even Andre Ward and other fighters in the professional game said the drug he tested for, there is a high contamination rate in supplements. And even Andre Ward says it wouldn't make sense that Ryan would test positive days before the fight and after, and not during camp at all. And Andre Ward believes it wouldn't have been enough to give him any performance edge. And Andre Ward said that he thinks it's a supplement he took to help him lose weight, because apparently he was struggling to lose weight, and that's the conclusion that Andre Ward came to. And it kind of does, to me, it makes sense too, that because why wouldn't he test positive during his whole camp and only right before the fight, when it wouldn't be that much of an effect on his performance, if at all. But so besides that, I just wanted to put that out there. So people know that. People know that there's a strong possibility that even though Ryan did test positive for the PEDs, they probably didn't even help him in the performance. So people are keeping that in mind, right? And they're looking at the fight in general. Why did Devin Haney keep on getting hit with the left hook? Why wasn't he protecting himself from that left hook? Because if you look at the fight, Ryan Garcia, he looked like he wasn't in the best shape. If you look at it, he was gassing out, he was taking rounds off, he was fighting good for a 1 minute of the round, then he would get tired. So it's not like he looked like a superhuman in there. He just kept on hitting Devin with the left hook. So the defense for Devin was questionable there, and maybe there was overconfidence and the game plan was bad. So people are putting all those factors together and why they're going against Devin Haney. But this is my problem. I'll go back to the point that I was going to make at the start of this. So Devin Haney, he keeps on going on and on and on about the loss. He's not taking it well, obviously, because it's still in his head. And from the clips I've seen in the Andre Ward interview, it seems like it's still bugging him. And he's still, apparently he said the PD positive for Ryan gave him closure, and now he feels good about it, which I don't know how that would make you feel good. But anyway, so he goes on and on and on about the loss. And, like, I don't have a problem with that. If someone tested positive and I fought them, I'd be pissed too. Even if there was some kind of explanation about it, it would still be in the back of my mind, this guy, he tested positive. My problem is, why don't you want to get your get back against that guy? That's my issue. Like, and I think that's most people's issue. So it's not that they're siding with the guy that took PEDs. They don't like your mentality about of how you're dealing with this. You're not having that fighter's spirit mentality of wanting to get the get back. Because if that was me, just as is me personally, and I know a lot of you probably out there too, though we're not in Devin's shoes, I'm just saying, and I've never been obviously at Devin Haney's level. Most of us will never be there. So we can't criticize him there. But I'm saying, though, we've seen other fighters at the top level how they conduct themselves, and they usually want to get their get back, and they want to prove that they're better. They can't take that loss. It doesn't sit with them well. They need the rematch. For some reason, Devin Haney says he don't want the rematch. It's done. And he's saying, oh, Ryan had his chance to be clean. He's not. So I'm not going to give him a chance to get it. He's acting like he's in the driver's seat and he's the A side here. Like, oh, Ryan needs the rematch, not me. Which I find that kind of strange. Like, why would you... Like, if I got in a fight with someone I knew they cheated somehow or tested positive for PEDs, whatever the fact is, I would want to get vengeance. I would want to get revenge. And the thing is with Devin, like, if he rematches Ryan and he beats Ryan, obviously he gets that big credit. But if he rematches Ryan and he loses again and then Ryan tests positive again, then Ryan's legacy is going to be really tarnished and people will be like, oh, okay, Ryan tested positive twice, so maybe it was legit. But I feel like Devin Haney is afraid that he is going to lose again and Ryan won't test positive, because I just don't get why you wouldn't want to get back in the ring with him. It makes no sense. And I'm going to go back to what I said. There was a clip from that Andre Ward interview. I got to watch the whole thing, so I probably missed some stuff. I'll make another video on it. I think it's like a 50-minute interview. So he said, after that fight, I went back to my like camp, or I went back, like I sat at home, I thought about the fight, and I could not figure out what I did wrong. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't make sense of it. I thought long and hard, and I still could never think what I did wrong. I did everything perfect in camp. I worked on everything perfect, did everything right, and the other guy did nothing right, and I lost. I couldn't come to grips with that because I didn't know I did everything I could. And he sounded like he had a really good camp, obviously, because he sounded super confident in his preparation when he was talking about it. And then he said that once the drugs, he found out about Ryan test positive, he said that gave him closure. And then he's like, oh, that's what went wrong. It has nothing to do with me. It had to do with Ryan testing positive because I did everything right and everything perfectly. And that's another issue I'm coming to here, guys. The fact that this happened, this could be the worst thing for Devin Haney to happen. Because if the PED never happened, I feel like Devin Haney, who knows, maybe Devin Haney will never come back from this either way. Even if Ryan didn't test positive, maybe like if he didn't have to have that excuse to use, he would still be thinking about, oh, I did everything right and I still couldn't get it done, and maybe he would never come to grips with ever coming back mentally. But my issue here is the problem with Ryan got caught with the PEDs. Devin Haney said that gave him closure. So Devin Haney now has an excuse for what happened. So what I'm saying is, other than Devin Haney trying to go back to the drawing board and figure out what he did wrong, because he said he couldn't figure out anything that he did wrong, he now has that excuse of, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. I was perfect. It was the other guy. That's why I lost, because the PEDs. And the problem with this is he's not going to fix anything. He's not going to do anything different. And this is going to be, it's kind of going to be a wake-up call when he faces adversity again, because he has an excuse. And I mean, a lot of fighters do this. Like most recently, I could think of Deontay Wilder did it when he lost to Fury. They don't know how to take a loss. They grasp for things, right? Like, oh, it was Fury's gloves. Oh, it was the suit I wore. Oh, I got poisoned. That's what Deontay Wilder was saying, because he couldn't make sense of why he lost. Now, this case is a little different because this is proven Ryan did test positive PEDs. But there is a strong possibility the PEDs did not help Ryan at all, and it's just that Devin's defense and game plan was shit. That is probably the most plausible outcome of why this fight happened the way it did. He had no answer for the left hook. His defense was terrible. His game plan was terrible, and he was high on his ego, and he thought that he underestimated Ryan Garcia. That's probably what actually happened. That's probably the strongest possibility of why the fight turned out the way it did. But now Devin Haney has this excuse built in because of the PEDs, and now I'm worried that he's not going to try to improve anything. He's not going to try to get better because this gives him an escape to trying to learn from his mistakes because he feel like he didn't have any mistakes. So that's my worry here is he's not going to try to work on his defense. He's not going to try to work on the things he did wrong. He's going to just fully blame the other guy for the PEDs, and he did nothing wrong. So when he does face Ryan again, or if he does face someone like a Tank or another dangerous fighter, he's gonna find himself in adversity again, and maybe after he loses again and they don't test positive and there is no other things that went wrong, I just don't know. He's gonna be real shook because I feel like mentally right now he's still lost. The fact that he keeps on talking about this Ryan loss, I know it's been overturned, and his dad just recently posted stuff how he's still going after Ryan, and then he put hashtag still undefeated. I don't know why you would do that and put that hashtag undefeated after you got a beating like that. I would not be like, okay, you can let the commission do its job and take away that loss, but the fact that you're bragging about we're still undefeated when you got beat like that, maybe not, it's not officially on paper, but we've seen what happened. And the people, you cannot trick the people. And the reason why they're against Devin Haney and they're not more against the guy who tested positive for PEDs is because the way Devin Haney is conducting himself after this loss for the ways I mentioned. And it's just the people know what happened in the fight. People do not believe it was the PEDs why he fought like that, why it turned out like that. They feel like your defense was shit and your game plan was shit, and you underestimated Ryan, and you've been fighting a lot smaller guys lately, and now you fought a guy your size, and we've seen what happened. That's what the people see. So you can't trick the people. We know what happened. And if you really want to get the people back on your side, rematch Ryan and get your get back. And then, if, like I said, it's a win-win for Devin, really. Because if Devin truly believes it was the PEDs that helped Ryan, he fights Ryan, he beats Ryan because Ryan doesn't use PEDs, and then he beats Ryan. Okay, he wins the people back that way. Or let's say Ryan beats him again, but Ryan tests positive for PEDs again, because that's apparently the only way he can beat Devin, in Devin's mind, is that's the only thing that went wrong was the PEDs. So it's a win-win. Like I said, if Ryan's not on PEDs, Devin beats him because that's what Devin believes. He would have beat Ryan if he wasn't using PEDs. But if he's using PEDs, he'll lose again, but Ryan will test positive again. So either way, Devin should be in the win-win because, I mean, if Ryan tests positive again, it's pretty much over for Ryan, and people will then side with Devin. But if Devin just beats him, and then he obviously beats him, and he'll get the people back on that side. So, yeah, I just don't like his mentality here, guys. He has to rematch Ryan. And I know he can't do it right now. Ryan is banned. I mean, he could fight him in, like, Saudi Arabia or a different country, I guess. But, I mean, I don't expect him to maybe rematch him right away if he doesn't want it. But, I mean, as soon as Ryan's suspension is over, I would be really pushing for that rematch. I don't know why he's not. And that's why the people have spoken and they're shitting on Devin Haney. And not to say that there always been haters of Devin, so I'll give him that. There's always been haters, but Devin really was on the up and up lately. Like, people were really starting to get on his side. They were jumping on the bandwagon. Like, I remember I was starting to definitely gain more respect for him, even though, yeah, he was outsizing a lot of his opponents. And I didn't like the way he conducted himself after the Lomachenko fight, him and his dad. They thought they dominated Lomachenko and it was easy work when really Lomachenko beat him. He did not beat Lomachenko. But, I mean, I respected him in the sense that at least he was taking all these fights. He was going to Australia twice against Kambosos. I know Kambosos is not an elite fighter, but, I mean, he was going to Australia. He was fighting these guys. He fought Loma. So you had to give him respect there. But, I mean, like, after this and seeing the way he's really how he handled defeat is definitely not good, and I'm strongly questioning his mentality coming back. Like if he fights a guy with any relative skill with punching power, it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with it because it might be shaky. Like I don't know the way he's really talking and the way he's acting. This loss really affected him, so he's really gonna need. I feel like he needs to fight someone who doesn't have too much punching power, who he can beat to get his confidence back. Because if he were to step back in the ring, like say if he stepped back in the ring with Ryan as his next fight, he would lose again pretty badly, I think. And I think if he stepped in the ring with Gervonta Davis, obviously that would go pretty bad for him as well. Shakur Stevenson's hurt now, so we can't really talk about that. But I mean, like, I just feel like his mentality is why people are shitting on him. And like I said, you can't trick the people what they seen with their eyes. You could not get away from that left hook. Simple as that. Ryan did not look like a superhero in there. Like, I mean, he was just doing what he always does. He throws his left hook and you couldn't avoid it. And your game plan was complete trash. So, I don't know. Devin just got to stop talking about this. Stop talking about the Ryan loss. And if you're going to talk about it still, at least start talking about, I want that rematch. I want to beat Ryan's ass. Then we'd be like, okay, he wants to get that rematch. He wants to beat Ryan's ass and get his win back. He wants to prove that he's better than him and that, like, okay, he was tested positive and I'll prove that when he's clean, I can beat him. Let's do the rematch. Because Ryan can't test positive again. His reputation will be completely done. So, that's my thing. If you're going to talk shit, you got to talk shit and want the rematch. If you're going to talk shit and not want the rematch, we don't want to hear it. That's all I got to say. This is Triple J Boxing. Thanks for watching. Take care.